Did you know that a uniform serves more than just for beauty and fashion? A search was done in the United States of America. Psychologists tested and said that students who had a school uniform were more concentrated in class and that I brought discipline. As compared to a school without the uniforms, that had much less discipline. The rating on the exams had also gotten a boost when the students had uniforms. Karim Polacek, former board president of the Long Beach Unified School District, said, "Uniforms approve discipline, self-esteem, and self-respect. They focus attention upon learning and away from such distraction of fashion, competition, and gang intimidation. That's why we should have a uniform, to have better grades and to be more concentrated in class. Furthermore, school uniforms gave students a school identity, with for school and individual spirit and pride, much like the way a sport team uniforms shapes team identity. Moral and self-esteem. Students appreciate the sense of belonging that school uniforms bring. The uniform represents the school they attend. Robert Baden-Powell, a British soldier, founder of the schooling, once said, "The uniforms makes for the brotherhood, since when universally adopted, it covers up all difference at class and country."
So, in 1982, the Constitution Act was created to guarantee Canadian citizens' rights. In 2018, we violated these rights. In 2018, we obstructed the right of young people by imposing a school uniform. Indeed, schools' uniform go against the Constitution Act, which states that everyone has the right to express themselves freely. Furthermore, the U.S. Supreme Court once stated during the 1970 case Richard versus Thurston that it can hardly be argued that either students or teachers shed their constitutional right of freedom of expression at the schoolhouse gate. In addition to this, schools' uniforms should not be an obligation because they take the school administration attention away from the real problem. As Tom Julian, former superintendent of schools in Oxford, NC, stated that schools' uniforms are a distraction from focusing on systematic and fundamental transformation to improve our school. We believe that instead of imposing a way to dress, we should be imposing better programs to boost students' performance. We believe that we should give students more power. We believe that there are so many things that should hold our attention, and uniforms are not one of them.
In 1995, a 17-year-old student was killed in the crossfire of the robbery of another student's clothes. This is no isolated incident. This has happened many times and will continue to happen in the future. We as human beings can't tolerate this. Bill Clinton, 42nd President of the United States of America, once said, "If it means teenagers will stop killing each other over designer jackets, then our public schools should be able to require their students to wear uniforms." This is why I believe schools should be able to require a uniform. They help reduce bullying and overall violence in schools. I would like to present you a statistic. According to Michallate, former Chancellor of the Washington, D.C. public schools, more than 160,000 kids stay at home to avoid being bullied every day. Imagine, 160,000 students. For comparison, 160,000 is 4 times the entire population of Monaco. And that's not even counting people who still go at school and still suffer. Research shows that when people wear the same clothes, they are less likely to attack each other. This is because they have a hard time intimidating others that are like them. In addition, the uniforms eliminate different classes, and therefore the students can't intimidate another based on their less expensive clothes. We have a chance to reduce violence in our schools, and it doesn't cost the direction nor the students anything. I can see no better way to break this cycle of violence simply because there are no simpler, more efficient alternatives. If these 17-year-old students' school required uniforms for their students, perhaps he would still be alive right now, living a good life with a family. But sadly, he will always be remembered as only a statistic.
A Texas Southern University study found that since uniforms have been introduced, discipline incidents rose by 12%. So that means that since children and teenagers are not allowed to express themselves by clothing anymore, they do it by other rebellious acts, such as tattoos, piercings, and colored hair. So because of this form of aesthetic, they are being called punks, weirdos, and more, and that's a form of bullying. They get that bullying only because they weren't allowed to wear what they wanted to wear to express themselves. So some might think that having uniforms will, so everyone dressed the same will cut the difference and solve the discrimination. But that's not true, because actually it makes it easier for bullies to judge and make fun of students.
It can be for the way they wear their uniform, what they own, where they bought it, and more. For example, if a kid has no uniform at his school, students with uniforms can make fun of him for being in a less prestigious school or being less fortunate. Uniforms are more suitable to create a clear distinction between public and private schools. Tony Volk, an associate professor at Brock University, said, overall, there is no evidence in bullying literature that supports a reduction in violence due to school uniforms. That says that people who say uniforms reduces bullying between students only base their affirmations on personal opinions.
So now from your rebuttal. So
Okay, when you say like punks do color changes and everything when they have like uniforms, but when they're not like at school, they have also that change color. So it's like that they express themselves. So it's good for them and they like that. So I don't know why.
But some of them express themselves this way because they have a uniform. Maybe they wouldn't have if they were able to express themselves by their clothes, but now uniforms have been introduced at their school, so they decided to make a change in their way.
First of all, these people, all of these people do this to express themselves even if they don't have a uniform. And in addition, you're putting this as a bad thing to have to express yourself.
But I think that for like here at Pierreton, people can have colored hair and other things like that. So people actually can't express themselves through like their hair colors and what they're wearing. So there's no actual way to express yourself when you're restricted with uniforms. That's what you're saying. That's what they're trying to say here. It's not that it's a bad thing. We're saying that we can't express ourselves anymore.
So the punishment for this or they're being bullied.
So, listen, I understand that it is important to be able to express yourself. But who are we to say that the security of millions of bullied children is worth more than our right to wear what we want? Who are we to say that the education and ultimately the future of 160,000 children is worth more or less than our right to wear what we want? Who are we to say that the lives of teenagers is worth less than our right to wear
their rights restricted because of this. We are the unit, we are the students that you're talking about. So we have every right to be against uniforms because they take away our freedom, not like the society freedom. It's our own freedom, and it's your freedom and mine. So it's my right as a student here to express my opinion about this.
Yes, but we're talking about a danger to people, and that's more important than the freedom of choosing what you want. Choosing what you want doesn't make such a great impact on the lives of the children. And I'd like to compare it to the gun control debate. Let's say gun control, having a gun may be considered as expressing freedom and all this, but when it comes, when we talk about the lives being taken because of guns, removing the gun is more important than.
So you're saying that removing our freedom of expression is better?
It's not totally removing freedom of expression. Like you said, we could still.
But
often
like
we can
if
still,
we make a comparison with guns, we're saying that guns, we should take them out. It's not really good metaphor, it's not good a comparison between them because it's not the same thing at all. But if we take, it's like we take our freedom, the base of our society, to protect others. However, we should find other solution to do so. We should educate more the children not to bully others. We should have both of those well. We should feel free, and we should have a freedom of expression, don't you think?
Yes, but we should have the freedom of expression. Yes, it's important. However, we need to have security first. Security for our children and all these students that go at school that get bullied. We have to have security for them first and foremost.
And how does uniform help with security?
Well, as I said in my opening arguments, they put people on the same level, so therefore they have less. It's less easy for them to bully each other.
I don't remember where I read this, but there was a study that actually showed that there's more bullying there's more bullying and sexual assault when uniforms were implanted at a certain school. So actually, uniforms doesn't equal security. Of course I do, but on my computer, which is right there. If you want, I can move the camera. That's not a good idea.
Oh,
So I think that it's time to go to the conclusion because we have been talking for like 6 minutes. So
Okay. But in conclusion, we should have a uniform at school because it helps to improve discipline and concentration in class. And it's better for there's no bullying and no killing he said Nicolas. So we have to have a uniform at school.
to close this debate, we still believe with the same conviction that uniforms should be banned from school because they do not reduce the rate of bullying. They deflect reality and they are infringement of the Canadian Constitution.